Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dominate Dominion number 102. I will be one of your casters for the night. My name is Fancy Wolf, and I believe my co-caster actually woke up on time.
Welcome everybody, I am Retired Peoples here today to bring you Dominate Dominion. And now, what is this, Fancy Wolf?
We are getting into our round of one. It is going to be Sigh What's the Point versus Jubjub. Jubjub will be on the blue team. And let me get your chat bans updated for you. But it is round one. We do have some new teams stepping into the tournament here. Gonna see how they fare. Gonna try and go for that first place, getting that RP, getting that triumphant rise. And it looks like we do have some pretty standard bans coming out so far. And, correct. Hipeoples is currently not with me, so what we're going to do is wait until the game actually starts, and then he's just going to spectate piggyback off of me. But, right now we do have, looks like a Sion ban. That's pretty interesting. They might actually be banning that out just to leave that open. And then also a Darius ban, another interesting ban there. I know he used to be quite a bit of a problem way back when, but he has not been as much of a problem since. And then looking, of course, we have Lee Sin, always a decent pick-off, LeBlanc as well, Jayce and Wukong being top tier in Dominion, so good to get rid of them. And for our first pick for blue team, it is going to be that Jarvan, one of the best bruisers on the map, able to engage, able to build tank, able to build assassin, just completely versatile with what he brings to the team and the damage output he can do. And to counter that, it looks like we're going to have an Akali pick. Akali getting so much stronger. Ever since Sweeper and Grez have been nerfed, the vision is a little bit harder to obtain. So we will see what else they decide to pick, and it looks like it may be a Ryze. Yep, and it appears I'm going to be doing it solo for a little bit here. So Ryze being picked up. He is pretty decent on Dominion and bot lane. The Q buffs just recently have helped him out quite a bit. Top lane he struggles a little bit more because it takes him some time to get build up. But once he does get to that end game, he is very, very scary and difficult to deal with. And we do have a Ziggs being highlighted right now. Ziggs does have that great range and poke, easily can defend towers, and can always secure those kills with that huge ultimate of his. Thrown across the map. Last week we saw Ziggs just absolutely decimating the enemy team, just hitting 3 or 4 at a time with his bombs, and just chunking HP so much. And it looks like we are going to have the Vlad locked in. Not too many people picking him up on Dominion, but we do know Hipeoples likes to run that sometimes and does fairly well with it. So he is a very viable pick as long as you've got the mechanics for him, and can do very well. And let's see how Purple Team responds to these picks here. It does seem like we have the Karma and the Riven highlighted. Don't know if they're going to lock that in yet, but we will see.
I think it's very brave of the team on the left to pick Vlad into Akali, as Akali is one of Vladimir's strongest counters.
Yeah, once she hits that level 6, she's able to just jump on him and stick to him. And because Vlad doesn't have that CC, can't really get away. So he's just going to have to sit there and fight her. So that is a pretty bold move. The gauntlet is being thrown down, saying, I'm not afraid of your Akali. Come at me. And the Karma is going to get locked in. So that will be a Karma, and it looks like a Vayne coming out for a Purple Team right now. Karma being really good at supporting and being a mage. Her burst damage is incredibly strong ever since her rework. And Vayne, of course, being that late game scary hyper carry. And going back over to blue team, Looks like we are going to have the Aatrox hovered over. I don't know if that is going to be an actual pickup here, or if he's just trolling. We'll see. Aatrox has a bit of left and right on whether he's really good or not as good. And we do have Zhao highlighted as the final pick. I'm wondering which is going to be bot lane, though, because they are going to have all 5 of their champions selected. Most likely will be Aatrox, because he does not fare too well in top lane. Bot lane, however, he can do some business. So we will see what they decide to do, and I think they are going to stick with that as our timer hits 0. And it is going to be an Aatrox and Zhao lock-in. And Ezreal insta-locked finally, and that is actually a double AD carry for a purple comp. So that's really, really risky, running double AD carry right now. And then also running Aatrox, however, for blue team. So we'll see what they decide to do with this. Once our timer ticks down all the way, we will throw you guys the summoner spells so you can see what they've got. And yes, my co-caster was taking a quick nap. He needed to recharge his batteries before he got into all this epic excitement. And unfortunately, we needed to get the show on the road, and he did not get into the spectating lobby fast enough. So he was a little too slow for that. This is why he doesn't speedrun.
Oh, speedrunning fancy.
You're just
I
too
work
slow.
on tournament standard time because I'm a Smash player, and everybody knows how that goes.
Tournament standard time is always 2 hours later than normal time. So, alright. And we are into our countdown. So Popples will be able to join me in the spectate lobby now, and we can reveal those summoner spells. And pretty interesting mix-up we got going on here with these summoners. What do you think about some of these picks here?
I actually still not allowed to spectate onto your game quite yet, so I cannot see your summoner spells.
You cannot yet. Wow, that is quite problematic, actually. Well, it seems like only one person on each team is actually running Revive. Everyone else appears to have either Ghost or Flash, along with Ignite, Barrier, or Garrison. So, some very, very interesting choices here.
We have a meta going on similar to the dawn of Dominion. We have everybody sporting Ghost.
Yeah, that's
It's been quite a long time since I've seen something like that.
Back in the very first few tournaments of Dominion, people didn't think Revive was that good. Everyone was bringing along Ghost and Exhaust or double combat summoners and Ghost and Ignite. And then eventually a team comes along and says, you know what, I think we're going to run this Revive thing. I think it can work really well. Turned out being the strongest summoner spell on the map, and it is top tier now.
Now, Fancy, can you do me a little favor? Can you tell me, are they actually running double AD carry, or is that an AP Ezreal?
I don't know how well it looks if I look at Runes and Masteries here, but let's see. He is on Hybrid Runes with physical damage and all physical damage masteries. Yeah, you guys can't see that too well. I will get an overlay for that soon, don't worry. Normally Popples is our rune checker.
We're looking at double AD carry coming out from Purple Team. Maybe he will take a more lukewarm-esque build, deciding to get a Mana Moon and go on to something more like a BFT for very, very high burst damage.
Yeah, that is entirely possible. I mean, we have seen double AD carry comps work in the past. Granted, it would be something along the lines of Jayce and Jinx, or some other, ranged bruiser who can also kind of do that up close and personal, such as Jayce with his hammer. But it is a very difficult matchup to win there. Also, who do you think is going to be going bot lane for both of these teams here?
Judging from the summoners, I would think both of these teams would be coming with an SR background, so I will leave the solo laners to be something along the lines of Ryze and Ziggs, although we might see Aatrox in the bottom lane. That would be my secondary guess.
Yeah, I would definitely have to probably give it to the Aatrox being bot lane, because I'm really hoping these guys have done a little bit of homework and know that Aatrox is not the champion that you want to have up top with you.
Well, I mean, Aatrox does have a follow-up initiation off of Jarvan's EQ, so he would have a little something to work with, but, you know, if you bring your Aatrox up top lane and you put your Ziggs bottom lane, you lose all your poke, and, you know, everybody just has to go in like a man, and while some teams are comfortable doing that, some definitely are not.
Yeah, going full man mode isn't always the best idea, but it can pay off if the team is not expecting it or they did not comp for it in counterpick and champ select. All-in man mode has very, very effective uses.
Now, it does seem like the League of Legends client is finally going to let me spectate this game. I just actually had to fully launch.
All right, well, finally. So, for those of you who don't know, my co-caster here with me today is Commander High Peoples, aka Retired Peoples, aka Emperor High Peoples, aka High Peoples, and aka Commander Sleeples.
AKA way too many names, peoples.
Way too many names, peoples. Oh, man. So those of you who have been around the Dominion community and Dominion tournaments for a while know that borders don't tend to mean much in this tournament. We've seen silver and bronze teams take out diamond teams, and, you know, vice versa. It mainly matters how much you know the map and how well you know Dominion. So, Summoner's Rift teams coming into Dominion, it's pretty difficult them to get their footing initially.
But, you know, one thing that does tell you an absolute bunch about how a team's going to do is how many skins that they actually have on their team. And we can see one team sporting Zombie+Ryze going back way in the past and Pulsefire Ezreal. So I would give them the edge to win this game.
They also have the Dragon Slayer Vayne on their team. Meanwhile, other team has only Commandos and Zhao. So
Now, as we get into this game, Fancy, can you remind us which two teams are playing each other today?
right now we do have Jubjub on the left blue team, and we have Sigh, what's the point, on the red team.
Welcome to the Crystal Skull.
So items are coming out here. We do have tier on Ryze. That's actually pretty standard. That's okay to build on Ryze. He does get the damage out of it, and it does stack relatively quick if he's going to be bot lane.
We have Akali coming out of here with a Hextech Revolver. Looks like she's going to go very, very quick into getting her Gunblade.
Begin in 30 seconds.
Yeah, Gunblade is always a really good pickup for Akali. I've seen some Akalis opting for different things first, like BFT, going for more burst instead of sustained damage and healing. But it's a bit more personal preference.
I can tell you for the fact, like most Akalis these days go get their BFT and they go into a Void Staff and they decide to opt for a Lichbane to maximize their burst potential and getting that first reset, because you know the first kill is a very important kill for reset champions.
Yeah, gotta get that nuke and take someone out, so that way you can instantly get that 4v3, push that advantage, and help your team take it down. But we are getting this match started. It is going to be Aatrox versus Ryze in the bot lane. That will be a very interesting matchup to check out. And everyone else is going to be up here at the windmill. Let's see how this initial fight goes.
Blue team has captured the quad.
We have Ziggs opening up, throwing a quick bouncing bomb, getting a little bit of poke on the Karma. Jarvan whiffing his standard combo, which is very, very important to note, because now Karma feels like she can play it very, very forward, and there's not much threat. As Zhao charges up to her, we have Vayne with a knockback, not getting a stun, and the first one going down is going to be the very, very manly Karma. We have Jarvan going over the top with an EQ. It's a very nice knockup as the fight progresses, and it seems like Green Team is quite ahead.
Yeah, they are going to be pressuring incredibly hard. Ooh, Ezreal Arcane shifting right out of that satchel there from Ziggs. And because Red Team has no revive, they're not going to be able to get back up in time to help defend this windmill. So very nicely played by Blue Team. They're actually going to be able to take that with ease. And looking down at bot lane really quick, it does look like Ryze is getting that pressure onto Aatrox. Hopefully he'll be able to push that back.
Ryze has built up a very, very substantial minion wave, and we can see right now, with typical lower level Dominion matches, you see everybody, they congregate to top point very much so, and it's very different from higher level Dominion matches as, you know, you see a lot of more jungle pressure being done. We see Ziggs, you know, popping Ezreal up onto the turret, but you know, everybody's up here, and it's pretty much a very, very strong poke war as we see Jarvan miss his Q onto his standard, which would have gotten a very beautiful format knockup.
Yeah, there is a ping going down onto blue team's midpoint there. They are saying, hey, we should probably go for that. And actually, bot lane, it looks like Ryze and Aatrox are getting into a little disagreement there. And I think Ryze was... No? Oh. And actually, Akali being the one to take the initiative here and start breaking the meta. No need to charge up to top lane if they're sitting there. Just go around.
Blue team has captured the quad.
Jarvan with another EQ. Misses a little bit, and Akali definitely is breaking the meta. She's going for that back cap as we see the Ziggs bomb being thrown her way. Karma has hit many launcher Qs. We see the Ezreal ult actually going to snipe out the Vladimir. Everybody for blue team top is very, very low, and we see Ezreal Arcane shifting forward as he positions himself in a way to hit them behind the point.
Yeah, Vayne's going to be trying to get out of this situation here. She may survive with that Karma shield, almost, so close. But Ezreal is going to pop. Karma will be able to blow up Xin Zhao in retaliation to that, and I think if Akali can just get vision, she'll be able to jump over onto the Ziggs. There she goes. She will be able to finish that off pretty easily, and poor Aatrox down bot is actually having quite a bit of trouble against this Ryze here.
Well, that poor Akali just hit 6, so she only had one charge of her Shadow Dance, and only one charge. She was not able to actually secure the kill on Ziggs.
He is still running around in circles. She needs to let that passive get those stacks so she can be jumping and jumping and jumping. And Vlad coming down, making sure bot lane stays neutralized, does not get capped. So very nicely done by him, keeping that under control.
Now we see Jarvan coming up to this top point. He's looking like he's gonna posture upon this Akali, but this Akali definitely calling his bluff and giving him a little tap on his backside.
Blue team has captured the quad. Quest received.
Just a sec, I do need to turn off the chat.
We have Ezreal taking a small downtime that we have in the game to pick up a storm buff and prepare to come up for the next impending top fight as we see Vladimir circle around his own speed buff.
Yeah, so Ezreal with that storm buff is going to start dealing some extra damage with those magic lightning procs. Ooh, and Xin Zhao, you can see the damage just hitting him and chunking him so hard.
We see Jarvan being a pile body blocking some of the Qs coming out from Ezreal, but you know, Xin Zhao decided, I'm a man, I'm going to die for my people, and I'm definitely not going to live for my people. He went back in and died as Vladimir gets dove upon his own point.
And Ezreal trying to get that true shot barrage out to take down Jarvan. Does miss him, but the rest of the team manages to clean him up. Are they going to be able to get the Ziggs down in time? The bomb coming down. Vayne is so low. And yes, he will be able to go down. They are going to be able to get that point under control. Xin Zhao is coming up and out, so they need to back out of this pretty quick here.
Red team has captured the refinery.
We have Xin Zhao about to battle. Oh, whiffing his ultimate, hitting a couple of actual minions. Thing that happens to Xin Zhao players sometimes, you know, you mash your E, you know, you feel like you get in range and you're ready to press R right after it, and you know, you're just outside of that E range, and then you're all sadly wasted.
Yeah, and Aatrox again did get taken down by Ryze in that bot lane. He is not having fun at all down there. One of the reasons you don't see Aatrox too much is he just doesn't have very many favorable matchups, and he's just a lot more difficult to play on Dominion. His passive is more suited for longer drawn-out games.
We see the Vladimir rushing the Will of the Ancients. The Karma managed to pick him up on his way back to the base. We see top lane, Akali managing to get a kill on it to Ezreal, now looking to get another reset onto the Jarvan. Xin Zhao being chased out of the fight below, and killing spree now for Raiko.
Yep, he's going to be pushing onto there, hopefully going to be able to get the Ziggs. Oh, so close. Vayne, can you seal the deal? Oh, the flash shot. Very flashy. And Aatrox trying to get away from the Karma here. Oh, very nice dodge to the Q, but the auto attack will finish him off there.
The shutdown coming out on Akali from Vladimir because of the Winions. Akali giving her life to save her Vayne.
Yep, Vayne's going to be ulting, trying to get this point saved, but that is a Xin Zhao and a Vladimir. You are going to be able to nuke down the Xin Zhao. Very nicely done. But I don't know about that Vlad, however. Meanwhile, in bot, Karma is fighting off Jarvan, trying to get this point.
See the exhaust being used onto the Karma. The EQ is going to end up whiffing, and Karma actually using the correct mantra, mantraing her W so that she can get the 15% health on the initial, and after it actually procs, so she will be able to win this duel.
Yeah, that is
Meanwhile,
so much heal.
And we have top lane, Satchel Charge being thrown out, the Ziggs is only escape, and we see the Aatrox coming up top lane. Two-man Vladimir ult, he goes directly in the pool. The Ryze is also up here, and his damage is real. He already has his row fully built, and he just nukes down the Vladimir outside the pool, and goes for the Aatrox, whose Bloodwell decides to pop.
Yeah, so Aatrox's passive is going to be down. They are going to chase onto that Ziggs. Hopefully someone decides to cap the point. There they go.
The Ezreal fancying his chances 1v1 with the Ziggs. Ziggs is gonna hop over away, but you know, he might be able to win this duel, especially if Ezreal keeps walking over Satchel Charge.
Oh, Ziggs. He might have just messed up. And we do have a DC from Ryze. Actually, oh dear Vayne, what are you doing to your poor Ezreal friend? Oh man. Vayne condemning the Xin Zhao right into Ezreal, saying, bro, you got this, take care of him. But again, yeah, Ryze DC'd, and they're not doing pause. I'm wondering if they... Okay, they do know they can pause.
I was wondering if Purple Team was going to fancy their chances 4v5 since they did already have a 4 cap, but they're deciding on the era of caution, and you know, they're like, well, we'll wait for our 5th play.
Yeah, it is always better to take the safe way out, especially if, you know, it's one of your first times playing in a Dominion tournament. You're not fully aware of your skills or your capabilities. You can't pull off those silly 4v5 style games or let's pick low tier games like a lot of the old schoolers do. Guys have been around a while.
While we have this pause, we can take a brief look at the gold graph, and we can see Ryze is sitting with the major lead. He has 6,000 gold right now over his counterpart bot laner in the Aatrox. He's sitting around 5,000 gold.
Yeah, that's an 1,100 gold lead. That is pretty hefty.
The next closest person to him is the Vayne. She actually surprisingly has more gold than the Akali, who's been putting in a lot of work, but they are both pretty much equally as fed. The Vayne actually participating in a few more kills.
Yeah, it looks like the gold difference between the teams is looking to be about almost 500 to 700 gold per player. Just roughly. Probably about 400 to 700 gold. So, not a huge difference. That's about a longsword for those of you wondering, or a cloth armor. The item differentiation isn't that huge. The only person with the major item advantage would be the Ryze, which, of course, he does have the ROA and the tier and his sword boots. So...
Now we see nobody on Purple Team actually really itemizing for magic resist. The Ziggs picked up his Chalice of Harmony for a little bit of mana regen primarily, and that's why you see the Ryze and the Karma absolutely destroying people, because their damage is just that high.
Yeah, all of it's getting through. There's no magic resist to stop them, so they're just, putting out the damage where they can. So let us see how Red Team decides to keep the pressure, and if Blue Team can bring this back. Vayne getting a little caught in the Jarvan ult, but tumbles right through the Cataclysm. Very nicely done. That impassable terrain being not so impassable.
We see her using the Bilgewater colors to slow down Jarvan, still managing to get away from Xin Zhao in the meantime, but takes the tail out of that knock-up and goes down. And you see the Xin Zhao still charging forward. However, I do not know if he can fight this Ezreal, but this Ezreal seems to not want to find out.
And poor Akali sitting up here 1v3. She could be able to get anything down. She does not have Gunblade, so her spell vamp is not through the roof yet. And she is going to get taken down.
You do see the True Shot Barrage going out, chucking down Ziggs, leaving Jarvan as the only one left on the turret. He is going to EQ away. Karma's going to pick up the kill on Ziggs while Xin Zhao looks for the charge, and he will get it.
That Karma firing out that Q at the last second on that Ziggs was very interesting. And the minions will pick up the kill on Zhao.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we see Ryze chasing out Aatrox once again, managed to take his point. Don't know what they quite were doing fighting in the middle of the lane. It seems like Aatrox might have been going for backcap shenanigans and was shoot away.
That might be the case here. Ziggs and Aatrox trying to get this bot lane back, and Aatrox might go down. Oh, just barely escaping. That last auto attack not coming out from Ryze there.
Now Ryze deciding he can finally corner the Ziggs, but the Ziggs does a lot of damage, and he was disincentivized by that. He decides to walk away for a little bit.
Yeah, now is not the time to fight that Ziggs. He is hurting. So he's going to be bailing out of there pretty quickly here. Meanwhile, up top, looks like Jarvan and Vlad are going to be going down, and they're going to be pressuring onto this midpoint as well. Time is running out for blue team. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a cap in time.
Has captured the quarry.
Seems like GGs are being called, and blue team understands their fate with purple team pushing up for the 5 cap.
Yeah, so that looks like it will be GG. Round 1 going to Sigh. What's the point? And pretty good turnout for some first-timers. It's good to see some new people in the tournament, some fresh blood getting in here and mixing it up.
And we can confirm, 3 skins are greater than 1 skin.
3 skins
as far
are greater
as
than 1 skin.
Teams go. Seems like skins are a good determining factor, or a good way to determine how a team will do in the tournament.
Alright, and as we get into our post-game screen here, we can look at our favorite chart to look at, damage dealt champions, and that Ziggs. Whew. Man,
Ziggs,
oh man.
And we're returning to his place to the top of the damage charts, whether on the losing team or whether on the winning team.
Phew, that is insane. Crazy, crazy damage coming from him. And second highest damage in the game going to Karma, actually. For those of you who play Dominion, that's not too surprising, but if you're coming from Summoner's Rift, yeah, that is quite a strong champion here on Dominion. Karma has quite a lot of burst and quite a bit of damage going for her.
I think Summoner's Rift players might start to be learning how much damage Karma actually deals, as in today's LCS, I know Dignitas' support had around 390 AP, more than the opposing team's mid laner at some point during their game today, And you could see how much damage, Karma's Mantra Qs actually deal and how much of a threat that she can be.
Ah, excellent. They're finally starting to pick up on her. Hopefully Riot sees that and says, okay, we don't need to buff Karma anymore. Because man, oh man, that Karma is already very scary. We're just waiting on people to kind of pick up on that. But that was round 1. If you guys have any questions, teams that you guys just played, if anyone has questions, please feel free to ask. We're going to get our invites into the next match here, and we will get right into that for you guys. Again,
now, what do you have for us for next match, Fancy Wolf?
I am looking right now. Let me get my brackets for you guys. It seems like a few matches have already gone through. So let me find one that isn't. That should be a really close game for us. Do we want to see Sigh? What's the point again?
I think the best game for us to end up viewing would be Willif Gaming versus Explosive Dishwasher after Explosive Dishwasher gets done their game.
Well, yeah, but there is still round 2 that needs to be played, so... let me just tell the admins to find us a game, because it doesn't seem like there's a game I could pick off right here. That would be a strong one to cast. Alright, so we're going to cut to a quick commercial break here, and when we come back we will get round 2 rocking and rolling for you guys, and we will be right back.